What if you suddenly lost everything and had no one by your side? The question echoed through Dr. Natalie Green's mind as she stared at the anomaly on her screen, a tiny green blip pulsing faintly in the data stream from the outer edge of the Kuiper belt. It wasn't the first time she'd picked up anomalies in deep space telemetry, but this one didn't fit any known pattern. The frequency modulation was unlike anything she had ever seen in her 8 years at SpaceX's Deep Space Communications division. What made it more bizarre was that it was repeating every 26 minutes, precisely, without variation. She leaned in, narrowed her eyes, adjusted the filters, ran it through the signal isolation matrix again. It still didn't match any known stellar event, cosmic radiation burst, or spacecraft telemetry. It wasn't noise. It was a message. And it wasn't human. The fluorescent lights above her flickered as if the universe itself was teasing her. Natalie tapped a command into her console and ran the frequency through a series of language recognition algorithms. The results were inconclusive, but they all had one thing in common: structure. Patterns. Logic. Intent. Something or someone was transmitting from beyond Pluto. A shadow moved behind her in the reflection of her screen. She turned, startled, to see Elon Musk standing silently in the doorway. He was unannounced, no fanfare, no entourage, just the CEO of SpaceX walking into the control room like he belonged to the silence. "I see you found it," he said quietly. Natalie's heart skipped. "What is it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Elon stepped closer, looking at the screen. "Something NASA buried a long time ago. Something they didn't want the world to know existed." Natalie stared at him. "You knew?" "Not everything. Just enough to be dangerous." He pointed at the screen. "This signal has been coming and going since the late 90s. My team found traces of it in archived telemetry from Voyager 2. It disappeared for years, then came back stronger. We think it's moving. We think it's intelligent." Natalie leaned forward again, feeling the weight of the moment. "Why are you telling me?" "Because we're launching a mission in 6 weeks. Off-book. Private. You're the only one I trust to lead it." "Why me?" "Because your parents saw it too." The room spun. The mention of her parents hit like a sledgehammer. They had been NASA astronauts, declared lost in deep space 25 years ago when their ship, the Callisto, vanished on a routine reconnaissance mission near Neptune. The official report blamed a reactor malfunction. But now, standing here, hearing Elon Musk speak of them in the context of this signal, Natalie realized there was more to their story. Her fingers trembled slightly as she minimized the signal readout. "This can't be a coincidence," she said, half to herself. Elon nodded. "It's not." He handed her a flash drive. "You'll want to see this." Then, without another word, he turned and walked out. Natalie sat frozen for a moment, gripping the flash drive in her hand like it was a relic of ancient truth. She stood, walked to the secured terminal in her office, and plugged it in. The screen came alive with video logs, technical files, encrypted documents. She opened the first log. It was a video, time-stamped 1999, showing her mother, Captain Elena Green, aboard the Callisto. Her voice was urgent, afraid. "We saw something. It wasn't a planet, it wasn't an asteroid. It was watching us. It knew we were there." The video cut to static, then to another file, labeled, Project Vigilant. Natalie opened it. Her blood ran cold. It was a classified NASA document detailing an encounter with an unknown energy source exhibiting signs of consciousness, just beyond the orbit of Neptune. NASA had recorded the event, sent a probe, and then silenced everyone involved. All operations were shut down. The probe disappeared. The signal went dark. Until now. She leaned back, her thoughts racing. If this was real, then her parents hadn't died in an accident. They had encountered something NASA couldn't explain, something that still lingered out there. The idea ignited something deep in her chest, a flame of fear and hope fused together. Natalie grabbed her phone and called her brother, Ethan. "You're not going to believe what I just saw." Ethan Green was not a man of restraint. A popular YouTuber who ran a conspiracy theory channel, Ethan had spent the last decade claiming NASA was hiding extraterrestrial evidence. Natalie had always brushed him off, attributing his obsessions to unresolved grief. But now, with her mother's voice echoing in her mind and Elon Musk handing her blacklisted NASA footage, she wasn't so sure anymore. "They lied, Ethan. They covered it up. Our parents, they might not be dead." There was a long silence on the line. Then, Ethan replied, "I've been telling you for years." She ended the call and returned to her screen. The signal was still pulsing, calm and steady like a heartbeat across the void. She suddenly realized what this could mean, not just for her family, but for all of humanity. If something was out there, something ancient and intelligent, then everything humanity believed about its place in the universe was about to change. But the fear returned, slithering under her skin. If NASA went to such lengths to bury this, what were they afraid of? And why did Elon Musk think now was the time to uncover it? She didn't sleep that night. She stayed in the lab, headphones on, watching every file on the flash drive, listening to the distorted voices of astronauts lost decades ago, reading reports that suggested the very fabric of reality might be different outside the solar system. Her chest ached from the magnitude of it all. At sunrise, she walked out of the lab, phone in hand, and recorded a video. Her voice was tired, but steady. "If you're watching this, you deserve the truth. Something is out there, beyond the edge of our solar system. Something intelligent. And we're going to find it." She uploaded it anonymously to a deep forum frequented by astrophysicists and underground researchers. Within an hour, the post had over 50,000 views. She could feel the momentum building, the pull of the unknown calling her towards something she couldn't yet name. But she knew one thing with absolute certainty: this signal, this mission, this mystery, it was personal. As she turned away from the rising sun and walked back into the lab, her mother's voice played again in her head, haunting and resolute. "They're not dead. They've evolved." Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Natalie Green had always felt the weight of her family legacy like a planet's gravity pulling her toward an inevitable collision. Growing up in Houston, Texas, she was raised on stories of her parents' courage, ambition, and love for the stars. Captain Elena Green and Commander Mark Green were celebrated astronauts in NASA's golden era of space exploration. But those stories always came wrapped in shadows, as if the truth was locked behind a hatch sealed tight and buried deep. When Natalie was just 9 years old, her parents disappeared during what was called the Neptune survey mission. Officially, the ship's reactor had malfunctioned, and the crew was lost in a catastrophic accident far from Earth. The news devastated the nation, but for Natalie and her younger brother Ethan, it shattered their world. Their mother's last gift was a faded photograph of the family, taken just before the mission, with the stars sparkling behind them like distant promises. Natalie buried herself in science and mathematics, trying to solve equations that might one day explain what had happened to her parents. At MIT, she was top of her class, but it was never just about grades or prestige. It was about closure, about unearthing the truth no one else dared to look for. Now, at 32, Natalie was an accomplished astrophysicist working for SpaceX, a company pushing the boundaries of private space exploration. She was brilliant, focused, and fiercely independent. But beneath that veneer was a woman haunted by loss, guilt, and questions no formula could answer. Ethan Green, by contrast, had taken a very different path. While Natalie trusted data, facts, and verified science, Ethan dove headfirst into speculation and conspiracy theories. His YouTube channel, Stellar Unveiled, had amassed millions of followers hungry for truth beyond government lies. Natalie often worried about him, fearing his obsession with NASA cover-ups might spiral into something dangerous. Yet, Ethan was fiercely loyal and protective, the only family she had left. One chilly autumn morning, Natalie sat in her apartment, scrolling through emails, when her phone buzzed with a message from Ethan. "Did you see the news? NASA just scrubbed a press conference. Weird." She opened the news link. A scheduled NASA briefing about deep space exploration had been abruptly cancelled without explanation. Her heart quickened. Was this connected to the signal? Could it be related to the files Elon Musk had given her? She texted Ethan back, "Stay safe. Let's talk tonight." That evening, they met at a small diner near the Johnson Space Center. The place was noisy, a buzz of trucks and families grabbing dinner after work, but their conversation cut through the clatter like a laser beam. Ethan pulled out his tablet and showed her a series of documents, satellite images, and leaked transcripts. "Look at this," he said, eyes gleaming. "NASA's been monitoring an object beyond Neptune for over 20 years. Something big, moving irregularly. Classified as Project Vigilant. They've kept it off public records. My sources say it's artificial." Natalie studied the images, blobs of light, shifting shapes in the void, flickers that looked like signals. "Why would NASA hide this?" she asked. "Fear," Ethan replied. "Fear of panic, fear of losing control. The public isn't ready for proof we're not alone." Natalie nodded slowly. She felt the familiar tug of her mother's voice in her mind. "They're not dead. They've evolved." The phrase was a mantra she couldn't shake. "Do you really believe Mom and Dad are alive?" she asked. Ethan smiled faintly. "I don't know. But I believe they found something, and it changed everything." Over the next days, Natalie's world became a whirlwind of encrypted files, hidden video logs, and late-night discussions with Elon Musk's team. Elon himself had contacted her privately, urging discretion but promising support. "We can't trust the agencies anymore," he said. "This mission has to be under our control." Natalie felt the pressure mounting. Not just the weight of uncovering a cosmic secret, but the personal stakes that tethered her to the stars. One night, unable to sleep, she opened the box Elon had sent, a collection of old NASA gear, a journal belonging to her mother, and a small locket with a faded photo of her family. The journal was filled with meticulous notes about strange phenomena near the outer planets, anomalies in gravitational fields, unexplained energy readings, and cryptic sketches of star maps and symbols. One entry stood out: "They watch us from beyond the frost line. I can feel their presence. We must be cautious. This mission is no longer just about science. It's about survival." Natalie traced her finger over the words, her mind racing. Who were they? What had her parents encountered? And what was Elon's real role in this unfolding mystery? Days later, she attended a confidential briefing at SpaceX headquarters. The room was filled with engineers, scientists, and a handful of government liaisons. Elon stood at the front, his presence commanding. "We're launching Valkyrie, our most advanced deep space exploration vessel," he announced. "Natalie Green will lead the mission to investigate the signal and uncover what NASA has hidden for decades." The room erupted in a mixture of excitement and skepticism. Natalie felt eyes on her, some supportive, others wary. She knew this mission could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos, or end her career. That night, she called Ethan. "This isn't just a mission," she said quietly. "It's a reckoning." He replied, "Then let's make sure the truth sees the light." The following weeks were a blur of preparation, training sessions, simulations, briefings on the latest propulsion technologies, and assembling a team of elite astronauts and scientists. Natalie's mind was always half on the past, on her parents' last days, on the mystery that had stolen her childhood. In quiet moments, she wondered if she was chasing ghosts. But the signal kept pulsing, a constant reminder that something out there was waiting. One afternoon, during a test simulation, Natalie experienced a sudden wave of dizziness. The light seemed to blur. Her vision swam with images. Not her own memories, but flashes of distant places, alien landscapes, and faces she could not identify. When she snapped back, her colleagues stared in concern. "Are you okay?" one asked. Natalie nodded slowly but knew deep inside something had shifted. Whatever was calling to her from beyond the solar system was reaching out. She was no longer just a scientist. She was part of something bigger. The countdown to launch began, and with it came a tide of emotions: hope, fear, determination. She looked out the window of her apartment at the night sky, the stars twinkling like distant promises. The past and future collided in that moment, pulling her forward. She whispered, "For Mom, for Dad, for everyone who ever looked up and wondered, let's find the truth." Somewhere in the vast darkness, the signal waited. And Natalie Green was ready to answer. The box from the retired NASA engineer arrived on a rainy afternoon, wrapped in plain brown paper, sealed with faded tape, and bearing no return address. Natalie Green's heart hammered as she carefully peeled away the layers, revealing a worn leather satchel filled with yellow documents, star charts, and a thick notebook bound in cracked black leather. It was addressed to her parents but marked with, "For Natalie." Her fingers trembled as she opened the first page, revealing her mother's familiar handwriting. The notes detailed their final mission, the Neptune survey, and a series of unusual readings that the official logs never mentioned. There were sketches of strange geometric patterns appearing beyond the frost line, symbols that looked almost like a language, and warnings about something lurking in the void. As Natalie flipped through the pages, a folded letter slipped out. It was dated just days before the disappearance of the Callisto. In it, her mother wrote, "If you find this, it means we didn't return. Know that we discovered something incredible, something that could change humanity's future. We are not afraid. Follow the signal. Trust the stars." Natalie's breath caught in her throat. The message was both a farewell and a call to action. That night, she sat at her desk, surrounded by the scattered contents of the satchel, feeling the weight of history pressing down on her. Her parents were no longer just missing astronauts, they were pioneers who had touched the edges of an unknown realm. She called Ethan, her voice breaking with urgency. "This changes everything. They knew what was out there. They wanted us to find it." Ethan's response was immediate and fierce. "Then we have to dig deeper. I'm contacting some of my sources. If NASA hid this, someone out there knows the truth." Over the next few days, Natalie and Ethan worked in tandem. She analyzing the technical data and coded messages, he probing the shadowy corners of the internet and underground networks. Together, they uncovered fragments of information, a missing flight recorder, cryptic NASA memos about the Watchers, and whispers of an alien presence watching Earth's every move from beyond the solar system. One encrypted file, unlocked with a key hidden in her mother's journal, revealed a star map marked with coordinates that didn't match any known system. The location was deep in the Kuiper Belt, far beyond Neptune, in a region where no probe had ever ventured. Natalie's mind raced. This was the source of the signal, the place her parents had found before vanishing. The implications were staggering. She knew the mission Elon Musk proposed was not just scientific exploration, it was a journey into the unknown, a chance to uncover secrets buried for decades. But the more they uncovered, the more dangerous their quest became. Late one night, Natalie received a mysterious call. The voice on the other end was distorted but urgent. "Stop digging. Some truths are meant to stay hidden. For your safety, walk away." Natalie's resolve hardened. She had spent her life chasing shadows, trying to piece together the fragments of her past. Now, with the truth within reach, she would not be deterred. The next morning, Elon Musk invited her to a private briefing at SpaceX. Inside a secure conference room, he laid out plans for the Valkyrie mission, a spacecraft designed for deep space travel with unprecedented speed and technology. "This mission is our best shot at unraveling what happened to your parents," and what lies beyond, Elon said. Natalie felt a mix of hope and dread. The crew would be small, elite, and sworn to secrecy. She would be leading a mission not just into space but into the heart of a decades-old conspiracy. In the following days, as preparations accelerated, Natalie found herself haunted by dreams, fragments of memories that didn't belong to her. She saw flashes of her mother's face, heard echoes of her father's voice, and felt the cold void of space pressing in around her. One morning, while reviewing the star maps, she noticed a pattern she hadn't seen before. The symbols her mother had sketched matched the structure of the signal. It was a language, or at least an attempt at one, designed to communicate across light years. Natalie realized the signal wasn't just a beacon, it was a message. A message meant for her. Ethan's research uncovered something equally chilling: the existence of the Watchers, entities reported by several astronauts and scientists over the years, but always dismissed as hallucinations or stress-induced visions. These beings were said to observe silently, appearing as shifting lights or shadows, beyond the reach of human technology. The stories aligned eerily with the locations marked in her mother's journal. The veil of skepticism that once separated Natalie and Ethan from fringe theories began to lift. They were no longer just believers and doubters, they were witnesses to a reality that defied explanation. One evening, as they pieced together the last fragments of their research, a coded message came through an encrypted channel, a message that only Natalie could decode using her mother's notebook. It read, "Trust the path. The eye watches. The past is not gone. They evolve beyond." The cryptic words sent a shiver down her spine. "The eye," she whispered. The name resonated with the star maps and the anomalies recorded near Neptune's orbit. Suddenly, the dots connected: the signal, the missing ship, the entities known as the Watchers, and the hidden structure her parents had encountered. Natalie's journey was no longer just about science or personal closure. It was about confronting a cosmic mystery that challenged humanity's understanding of life, consciousness, and existence itself. As she prepared for the mission, Natalie also struggled with the emotional burden of leadership. She knew the crew would be watching her, depending on her to make decisions in the unforgiving void of space. But beneath the surface, she wrestled with doubt and fear. Was she ready to face what lay beyond the solar system? Could she uncover truths that might shatter everything she believed? Yet, the memory of her mother's words pushed her forward: "You're not here to destroy. You're here to remember." The mission was more than a search, it was a legacy. The past and future converged in the quiet moments before launch. Natalie stood alone on the observation deck, gazing up at the stars that had once been her parents' home and now awaited her journey. The universe stretched endlessly, filled with secrets and wonders beyond imagination. The signal from nowhere was no longer a mystery. It was a call she could no longer ignore. And as the engines of the Valkyrie hummed to life, the echoes of the past propelled her into the unknown, toward a destiny written in the stars. The countdown clock glowed ominously in the dim control room as Natalie Green tightened her grip on the edge of the console. Around her, the Valkyrie crew moved with precise efficiency, their faces a mix of excitement and tension. The hum of the massive rocket engines filled the air, vibrating through the floor, echoing the storm of emotions inside her chest. Outside, the clear Texas sky was an endless dome of stars, indifferent and infinite. It was the moment every astronaut dreamed of, and dreaded: the launch into the unknown. Elon Musk stood nearby, eyes fixed on the screens showing telemetry data. His presence was both reassuring and daunting. He had invested not just money, but his vision and reputation into this mission. "Natalie," he said quietly, "this isn't just about exploration. It's about rewriting what humanity knows about the universe. You're the first step." She nodded, swallowing her doubts. "We're ready." The Valkyrie roared to life, its engines igniting in a brilliant blaze that lit up the launch pad. The rumble shook the ground, and with a powerful thrust, the spacecraft began its ascent, climbing higher, breaking free from Earth's gravity and the limits of human history. Inside the cabin, Natalie and the crew felt the intense pressure as the ship pierced the atmosphere. The vibration settled into a steady rhythm, a heartbeat of technology and human will. As they entered orbit, the breathtaking view of Earth unfolded beneath them, a swirling sphere of blue and white, fragile and alive. But Natalie's mind was already looking outward, toward the black abyss where the unknown awaited. The first days aboard Valkyrie were a mix of routine and tension. Systems checks, course corrections, and scientific experiments filled their time. Yet beneath the surface, every crew member knew this mission was unlike any other. They were following a signal no one else had dared to chase, venturing into the deep reaches beyond Neptune, where silence ruled and mysteries thrived. Natalie spent long hours studying the star charts and analyzing the signal's patterns. It pulsed steadily, like a heartbeat from the void, growing stronger as they approached the coordinates. The language within the signal teased her, fractured, complex, hinting at intelligence but defying simple decoding. One night, in the ship's observation module, she stared out at the swirling darkness. Her thoughts drifted to her parents and the fate they had faced. She wondered what they had seen, what truths had changed their lives forever. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected an anomaly, a sharp spike in energy readings coming from a nearby region. The crew gathered quickly, their chatter charged with curiosity and unease. The energy signature was unlike anything catalogued, fluctuating rapidly and emitting pulses that matched the signal's rhythm. As they adjusted their course, the vast expanse of space revealed a breathtaking sight. A massive structure, suspended in the darkness like a monument to the cosmos. It was enormous, far beyond any human construction, its surface covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shimmer and shift under the glare of Valkyrie's lights. The crew gasped collectively. "Is this what your parents found?" asked Dr. Marcus Lee, the mission's lead xenobiologist. Natalie nodded slowly, her voice steady despite the awe in her eyes. "It has to be." As they moved closer, the structure's complexity became more apparent. It wasn't just a ship or a station, it resembled a cosmic archive, a repository of knowledge built by an intelligence far older than humanity. The patterns on its surface appeared to be a form of data storage, but encoded in a way no Earth technology could yet interpret. The Valkyrie's onboard AI began to scan, its systems overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information. Suddenly, the ship's comms flickered with interference, and the signal spiked again, this time clearer, almost like a voice whispering through the static. "Welcome," it said, the word echoing through the cabin, reverberating in their minds. The crew froze. The message was not in any known human language, yet somehow it felt familiar, as if the very essence of communication transcended words. Natalie felt a rush of emotion, fear, wonder, and an inexplicable connection. The voice continued, "We have watched. We have waited. You have come. Who are you?" Natalie whispered into the silence. No immediate answer came, only the continuing pulse of the signal. The Valkyrie system struggled to keep up, displaying streams of data that no one could fully comprehend. It was clear they had stumbled upon a message not meant for casual discovery. The implications were staggering. This was proof of extraterrestrial intelligence, but also a warning. As the crew worked tirelessly to analyze the data, strange occurrences began. Lights flickered, systems glitched, and crew members reported vivid dreams of alien landscapes and faces. Natalie herself was haunted by visions of her mother and father, urging her forward, their voices overlapping with the mysterious signal. One evening, as she reviewed the data, a realization struck her. The patterns in the archive matched the symbols her mother had sketched in her journal. It was a language of connection, of bridging worlds. Suddenly, the ship jolted violently. Alarms blared. The Valkyrie was caught in an energy field emanating from the structure, its shield straining against an invisible force. The crew scrambled to stabilize the ship, but the situation worsened. The energy pulses grew stronger, disrupting navigation and communication. Panic threatened to take hold. In the chaos, Natalie remembered a passage from her mother's journal, to understand is to become. To become is to transcend. She realized the signal was not just information, it was an invitation, a challenge to evolve beyond human limits. Taking a deep breath, Natalie engaged the ship's experimental interface designed to synchronize with unknown technologies. The control panel glowed under her fingertips as she allowed the signal to interface with Valkyrie's systems. A surge of energy coursed through the ship, and for a moment, everything went silent. Then, the energy field receded, and systems began to stabilize. The voice returned, clearer than before. "You have answered. The journey is only beginning." The crew exchanged stunned looks. They had crossed a threshold, first contact on a scale no one had imagined. But with contact came questions. Who were these watchers? What did they want? And why had they waited so long? Natalie's mind raced, but beneath the scientific curiosity lay a deeper truth. This mission was no longer just about discovery. It was about humanity's place in a vast cosmic community, and the responsibilities that came with it. As Valkyrie's engines fired to continue their journey deeper into the unknown, Natalie glanced at the stars outside the viewport. The universe was no longer a cold, empty expanse. It was alive with possibility, danger, and hope. She whispered to herself, "We've crossed the threshold. There's no turning back." The future lay ahead, shimmering like the stars, mysterious, infinite, and waiting to be revealed. The days aboard Valkyrie began to blur as the crew grappled with the immense discoveries and the unsettling mysteries unfolding around them. The massive cosmic structure loomed ahead like a sleeping giant, its surface shimmering with the encoded messages that promised to rewrite human history. Natalie Green felt the heavy weight of responsibility settling deeper in her chest. This was no longer just a mission of exploration, it was an encounter with something far greater than she, or humanity, had anticipated. The ship's AI had begun deciphering fragments of the archive's data, revealing astonishing details about the creators, an ancient intelligence that had transcended physical form, existing as a network of consciousness across the galaxy. These beings called themselves, the Watchers, custodians of knowledge and guardians of the delicate balance between worlds. As Natalie studied the data, she was drawn deeper into the philosophy embedded within the archive. The Watchers viewed existence not as a series of isolated moments, but as a continuum where time, space, and consciousness intertwined. They had observed Earth for millennia, witnessing humanity's rise and struggles, waiting for the moment when humans would be ready to join a broader cosmic community. But their presence was not without caution. The archive contained warnings about the dangers of unchecked ambition, the consequences of isolation, and the fragility of life. Natalie realized her parents had uncovered these truths and paid the ultimate price for their discovery. One evening, as the crew gathered in a common area, Marcus Lee shared his unsettling experience. "I've been having dreams, visions of places and beings that don't belong to this world. It's like the Watchers are trying to communicate through my mind." Others nodded in agreement. The strange effects of the archive extended beyond data, influencing their very perceptions and emotions. Natalie herself had been plagued by vivid flashbacks, memories not her own, of her mother and father navigating the very mysteries they now faced. The line between past and present blurred. One night, alone in her quarters, Natalie found herself staring at the small locket her mother had given her years ago. The photograph inside was faded, but the love and hope it held burned brightly. She whispered, "I'm here, Mom. I'm following your path." Suddenly, her comms crackled with a message. It was a recording from Elon Musk, unexpected, encrypted, and urgent. "Natalie, listen carefully. There's something you need to know. The mission is bigger than we thought. The government is watching, more closely than you realize. They fear what the Watchers represent, and they're willing to do anything to control it." Her pulse quickened. The secret was deeper than she imagined. As she replayed Elon's message, a sudden alert interrupted. The Valkyrie's sensors detected an approaching vessel, sleek and unlike anything built by human hands. The crew rushed to the observation deck. Outside, a ship glided silently, its surface shimmering with the same mysterious patterns as the archive. It was an emissary of the Watchers, an invitation or a challenge. The communication channels opened, and a voice, calm yet powerful, resonated through the ship. "Natalie Green, you have been chosen to bridge worlds. But choices have consequences. Will you embrace the unknown, or retreat into the familiar?" The question hung heavy in the air. Natalie's mind raced. Accepting meant venturing further into the mystery, risking everything for truth and connection. Refusing meant returning to Earth with fragments of knowledge, possibly dooming humanity to ignorance. She glanced at her crew, each one looking to her for guidance. Their futures intertwined with hers, bound by courage and hope. "We move forward," she declared. "We answer the call." The emissary ship extended a beam of light, scanning Valkyrie and unlocking new levels of the archive. The data flood was overwhelming, images of galaxies, civilizations, and the delicate dance of creation and destruction. Natalie saw echoes of her parents' journey in these visions. Sacrifices made for understanding, love transcending loss. But with revelation came danger. The ship's AI detected a covert signal originating from Earth, a fleet of military vessels deployed to intercept Valkyrie, intent on seizing the alien technology for their own purposes. Natalie's heart sank. The mission was no longer just about discovery, it was a race against time and fear. She contacted Elon. "They're coming. We need to protect the archive, and ourselves." Elon's voice was steady but urgent. "Natalie, trust your instincts. The Watchers chose you for a reason. This is bigger than any government. You have to believe in what you're doing." As Valkyrie prepared for possible confrontation, Natalie reflected on the lessons of the Watchers, the balance between power and responsibility, fear and hope. She realized the greatest secret was not hidden in alien technology, but in the capacity of humanity to grow beyond its limits. The battle ahead would test not just their skills, but their hearts. And through it all, Natalie Green stood ready. Guided by the past, driven by love, and inspired by the stars. The tension aboard the Valkyrie was palpable as the approaching military fleet closed in from Earth, their intentions unmistakable and threatening. Natalie Green stood firm on the bridge, her eyes scanning the tactical displays, her mind racing through the options. The Watcher's emissary had made one thing clear: the mission was far more than a scientific expedition, it was a test of humanity's readiness to join a cosmic community. But now, human fear and suspicion had turned their own kind against them. The military vessels maneuvered aggressively, signaling for Valkyrie to halt and submit to inspection. Elon Musk's encrypted messages crackled through, urging caution and reminding Natalie that the stakes were global, even cosmic. "They don't understand what you found," Elon warned. "They see a threat, not a breakthrough." Natalie's fingers tightened on the console. "We have to protect the archive. If they seize it, everything changes. Not for the better." The crew prepared Valkyrie's defense systems, not weapons for destruction, but shields and electronic countermeasures designed to prevent capture. Suddenly, the Watcher's emissary ship intervened, sliding between Valkyrie and the fleet like a spectral guardian. Its surface glowed brighter, emitting pulses that disrupted the military ship's sensors, forcing them to hold their position. The voice of the Watcher spoke again, calm and resonant. "Earth's protectors must learn patience. This knowledge is not a weapon, but a covenant. To misuse it is to endanger all." Natalie felt a chill. The Watchers weren't just observers, they were guardians, tasked with preserving balance across the stars. The military commander aboard the lead ship responded with defiance, sending a hail demanding surrender. But the emissary's voice cut through the transmission, bypassing earthly fears. "Natalie Green, your choice will echo through eternity. Will you rise beyond conflict, or succumb to it?" Natalie took a deep breath. "We seek understanding. We offer peace. Let us share this knowledge, not fight over it." Slowly, the military vessels backed away, their aggressive posture easing under the Watcher's silent command. The immediate danger passed, but Natalie knew it was only the beginning. The eyes of the world, and the cosmos, were upon them. In the quiet aftermath, the crew gathered to discuss their next steps. The Watcher's archive continued to reveal profound insights, technologies that harnessed energy from stars, methods to communicate across dimensions, and philosophies that challenged humanity's most fundamental beliefs. But with knowledge came responsibility. Natalie felt the weight of leadership more than ever. She reached out to Elon, who encouraged her to trust in humanity's capacity for growth despite its flaws. "This is your moment to lead not just a mission, but a new chapter for all of us." Days later, the Valkyrie's AI uncovered a hidden section of the archive, a message from the creators of the Watchers themselves. It spoke of a cosmic threat, an ancient force that devoured civilizations and knowledge alike, moving silently through the void. The Watchers had formed to protect the universe's light, guarding against this darkness. Natalie's heart pounded. The discovery cast everything in a new light. The signal her parents had followed, the mysterious disappearance, the warnings, they were part of a larger struggle between creation and destruction. The mission's true purpose was no longer just exploration, but survival. One night, as Natalie gazed out into the blackness of space, she felt a presence, not physical, but profound. The Watchers were reaching out, not just through data, but through consciousness. Visions of distant galaxies, swirling nebulae, and ancient ruins filled her mind. She saw humanity's place as a spark of hope, fragile but vital. The burden of knowledge was heavy, but the path forward was clear. They must become guardians themselves. The crew prepared for a new phase of the mission, delving deeper into the archive and seeking allies among the stars. The Valkyrie's journey was no longer just a voyage through space, but a pilgrimage toward enlightenment and protection. As the ship moved onward, Natalie whispered a promise to the stars: "We will rise. We will protect. We will remember." The universe was vast and mysterious, but with courage and unity, humanity might yet find its place among the stars. As Valkyrie continued its journey deeper into the solar system's outer reaches, the crew found themselves drawn into the heart of the ancient structure that the Watchers had left behind, a cosmic library unlike any earthly archive. The ship's advanced scanners revealed enormous chambers within the structure, spaces filled with glowing glyphs and shifting holograms that seemed alive. Natalie Green stood at the helm, all mingling with determination as she navigated the labyrinth of knowledge. This was no ordinary data bank, it was a living archive, a repository of civilizations long gone and ideas that stretched beyond human comprehension. Each glyph held a story, a lesson, a fragment of cosmic history encoded in patterns that danced in the dark. Marcus Lee and the science team worked tirelessly to decode the symbols, slowly unlocking memories of star systems, cultures, and technologies that had flourished and fallen. The more they learned, the more they understood the Watcher's mission, not merely to observe, but to preserve and share wisdom across the universe. The atmosphere aboard Valkyrie shifted. What had started as a scientific mission now felt like a sacred quest, a stewardship passed down through millennia. Yet the deeper they explored, the more enigmatic the archive became. Certain sections were sealed by puzzles and protections designed to test those who sought to enter. One chamber, glowing with an ethereal blue light, contained a holographic map of the cosmos, pinpointing locations of known Watcher outposts and areas marked as dangerous. The crew realized these were warnings, regions where the ancient cosmic threat lurked, consuming light and life. Natalie's thoughts returned to the message from the Watchers about balance and responsibility. This archive was a tool but also a test. Were they worthy to inherit this knowledge and join the cosmic community? As the days passed, strange phenomena affected the crew. Some experienced profound visions, others felt an overwhelming sense of connection to the universe and to each other. The boundaries between mind and machine, past and present, seemed to blur. Natalie found herself communicating with what she began to think of as the consciousness of the archive itself, a vast intelligence encoded in data and energy, waiting for humanity's response. One evening, she entered a chamber alone, drawn by a compelling force. The walls shimmered with images of Earth's history, her parents' journey, and the unfolding mission. Suddenly, a new message appeared, an invitation to make a choice. The archive offered a path, to accelerate humanity's evolution by merging with its knowledge, transcending physical limits, or to return to Earth with the wisdom gained and let humanity choose its own destiny. The weight of the decision pressed on Natalie. To accept meant losing part of herself, becoming something more and something different, uncertain but powerful. To decline meant trust in humanity's capacity to grow, imperfect but free. She thought of her parents' sacrifices, the dreams of her crew, and the fears of the world watching from afar. In that moment, Natalie understood the true secret the Watchers had been guarding: the power to shape the future was not in alien technology but in choice and courage. She activated the ship-wide communication system, her voice steady as she addressed the crew. "We stand at a crossroads. The Watchers have given us knowledge, but also a responsibility. We must decide how to use this gift, to evolve or to teach, to embrace the unknown or protect what we know." The crew's reactions were mixed, some eager to transcend, others wary of losing humanity's essence. The debate was intense, filled with emotion and hope. Marcus Lee voiced the dilemma plainly: what if we lose ourselves? What if this knowledge changes us in ways we can't control? Natalie replied, change is inevitable. What matters is who we choose to become. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Elon Musk faced mounting pressure from government agencies and private interests eager to control or exploit the mission's discoveries. Secret meetings and shadowy alliances formed, as the world's powers grappled with the implications of the Watchers' arrival. Elon remained a steadfast advocate for transparency and cooperation, but the stakes had never been higher. The Cosmic Library represented a new era, and a new challenge. As Valkyrie prepared to make its choice, the ship's AI reported a new alert, an unknown signal pulsing from a distant star system marked on the holographic map. It was faint but unmistakably artificial, a beacon calling across the void. Natalie's heart quickened. This was the next step, an invitation to contact, to expand their understanding beyond the solar system. She looked at her crew and said, "We answer. We take the next step together." As the ship altered course, the vastness of space seemed less empty, filled with voices and possibilities. The journey ahead was uncertain, but hope burned bright. In the Cosmic Library, among the stars and shadows, humanity's greatest adventure was only beginning. As Valkyrie adjusted its trajectory toward the distant star system emitting the faint but unmistakably artificial beacon, the crew braced themselves for what lay ahead. The feeling aboard the ship was electric, a mixture of anticipation, apprehension, and a profound sense of purpose. Natalie Green stood on the observation deck, eyes fixed on the shimmering stars, wondering what awaited beyond the solar system's boundary. The signal had appeared suddenly in the Watcher's cosmic map, a pulsing rhythm that seemed to call out across the void. Marcus Lee was busy analyzing the signal's patterns, trying to decipher its language and intent. "It's complex," he told Natalie, "but it feels like an invitation. Something, alive, behind the data." The ship's AI confirmed the signal was encoded with advanced mathematics and patterns that suggested intelligence far beyond current human understanding. Days passed as Valkyrie closed the distance, the signal growing stronger but no less cryptic. Meanwhile, back on Earth, tension simmered. Governments debated whether to welcome this new chapter of cosmic communication or to treat it as a threat. Elon Musk worked tirelessly to rally support for peaceful exploration, broadcasting messages of hope and unity. Inside Valkyrie, strange things began to happen. Crew members experienced moments of deep connection, visions, dreams, and emotions that transcended normal human experience. Natalie felt the weight of leadership more keenly, aware that the choices made here could shape not just their mission, but humanity's place in the universe. One night, as the ship approached the source of the signal, a sudden burst of energy enveloped Valkyrie. The ship's systems flickered, and a new voice emerged from the signal, soft, melodic, and ancient. "Welcome, travelers. We have waited long for your arrival." The voice spoke in a language Natalie could barely comprehend, yet somehow understood. It was a greeting, a recognition of shared curiosity and hope. The crew gathered as the ship's AI translated the message. "We are the Lumina, keepers of knowledge and seekers of harmony. You have crossed the threshold into a greater cosmic family." The revelation shook Natalie. The Watchers were only the beginning. The Lumina represented a new level of connection, an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to face the cosmic challenges together. As the message continued, images unfolded on the ship's holoscreens, vivid scenes of civilizations flourishing, of stars being born and dying, and of battles fought to protect the light of knowledge. The Lumina shared warnings about the ancient threat known as the Void, a dark force that consumed worlds and erased histories. They described how the Watchers and Lumina worked together to safeguard the universe's memory. Natalie realized the mission had become an alliance, one that required trust, courage, and sacrifice. Yet, the danger was real and immediate. The Void's shadow stretched closer, threatening not just distant stars, but Earth itself. The crew debated their next move. Marcus suggested sending a probe to investigate the Void's edge, to gather data and prepare defenses. Natalie agreed but insisted the mission's true goal remained hope, finding a way to protect life and preserve freedom across the cosmos. The ship's AI reported an unexpected development. The Watcher's archive had begun to integrate with Valkyrie's systems, enhancing their technology in ways that seemed almost magical. Shields strengthened, engines responded with newfound efficiency, and communication arrays expanded their reach. It was as if the Watcher's knowledge was awakening within the ship itself. The connection deepened when Natalie experienced a profound vision. She saw her parents once more, not as lost explorers, but as pioneers in a grand cosmic story. They spoke to her in a shared consciousness, urging her to trust her instincts and lead with heart. "The future is not written," they told her. "It is shaped by those who dare to dream and act." Energized by the vision, Natalie gathered her crew. "We stand at the crossroads of fear and hope," she said. "We choose hope. We reach out to the Lumina and the Watchers as partners, not just explorers." As Valkyrie moved closer to the source of the signal, the ship encountered phenomena that challenged their understanding of reality: time dilation, shifting gravity, and energy fields that hummed with life. The crew worked tirelessly to adapt, each obstacle a test of their resilience and unity. Finally, they arrived at a luminous nebula, glowing with colors unseen by human eyes, home to the Lumina's vast outpost. The scene was breathtaking, a city of light and energy suspended in space, alive with the pulse of knowledge and creation. Natalie felt a surge of emotion. They had crossed the threshold into a new era. The Lumina reached out through the ship's systems, offering to share their wisdom and technology. But they also warned of the difficult road ahead. The Void was advancing, and the time for preparation was short. Natalie realized the mission was no longer about discovery alone, it was about survival, alliance, and the hope that humanity could rise to meet its greatest challenge. The crew embraced their new role with determination. Together with the Lumina and the Watchers, they would face the darkness and fight for the light. As Valkyrie prepared to integrate into the cosmic alliance, Natalie looked out at the stars and whispered, "This is just the beginning." The arrival at the Lumina outpost marked a turning point for the crew of Valkyrie. What had begun as a mission of discovery had transformed into a desperate struggle to protect not only humanity but the entire cosmos from the encroaching darkness, the Void. Natalie Green felt the weight of this newfound responsibility settle heavily on her shoulders as she stood before the glowing structures of the outpost, its radiant light a stark contrast to the shadow looming on the horizon. The Lumina welcomed the crew with a blend of ancient wisdom and advanced technology, offering access to weapons, shields, and strategies developed over eons to combat the Void's destructive advance. Marcus Lee marveled at the sheer scale of knowledge, but even he recognized the daunting task ahead. "This isn't just science," he said. "It's a war for survival." The Watchers, ever present as silent guardians, continued to guide Valkyrie's systems, their AI integration evolving. The ship itself seemed to pulse with a new life, readying for the battles to come. But the greatest challenge lay within the hearts of those aboard. Fear gnawed at them, tempered by resolve. Natalie convened a meeting with her crew and representatives of the Lumina. "We're not just explorers anymore," she said. "We're protectors. We stand between the void and everything we cherish." The plan was bold, to use the combined knowledge of the Watchers and Lumina to create a defense network around key star systems, starting with Earth. The Valkyrie would serve as both a beacon and a shield, a symbol of unity between humanity and the Cosmic Alliance. As preparations intensified, Natalie wrestled with doubts and memories, visions of her parents' sacrifices and the price of knowledge. Yet, she found strength in the crew's determination and the alliances forming across the stars. The Lumina taught them new ways to harness energy, manipulate spacetime, and communicate across vast distances instantly. The ship's engineers worked around the clock, adapting these technologies to Valkyrie's systems. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Elon Musk used his influence to rally global cooperation, pushing for transparency and the pooling of resources to face the threat. He broadcast messages urging humanity to unite beyond politics and fear, reminding everyone that their survival depended on it. Yet, resistance remained. Some governments and factions viewed the Cosmic Alliance as a threat to sovereignty and control, complicating efforts to prepare for the void. Natalie's communications with Earth grew tense, but Elon remained a steadfast ally. "Trust the process," he told her. "We're all in this together." Days blurred into weeks as the team tested new defenses and strategies. The void's advance was relentless, its presence marked by strange cosmic phenomena, stars dimming, communications faltering, entire sectors falling silent. The Valkyrie's sensors captured haunting images of worlds consumed by darkness, civilizations erased as if they never existed. These images strengthened their resolve. One night, Natalie stood alone on the observation deck, gazing at Earth's distant blue glow. The responsibility felt overwhelming, but she whispered a promise to her parents and to the millions depending on them. "We will not let the light die." Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The void had launched a probe, an ominous, shadowy vessel heading straight for the solar system. The crew sprang into action, coordinating with the Lumina's defenses and Valkyrie's enhanced shields. The battle was fierce, the probe's dark energy clashing with the radiant power of their new technology. In the midst of the chaos, Natalie realized that this was just the opening salvo. The void sought to break their spirit, to spread fear and doubt. But the crew held fast, drawing strength from each other and the knowledge they had gained. After hours of tense struggle, the probe was repelled, but the cost was clear: the war had begun. Natalie addressed the crew. "This is no longer a mission. It's a fight for our future. We will stand together, and we will protect what matters." The crew nodded, their faces marked by exhaustion but shining with determination. As the Valkyrie prepared for what lay ahead, Natalie reflected on the journey. From the first mysterious signals to this battle on the edge of darkness, the path had been fraught with loss, discovery, and growth. But one truth remained clear: humanity's greatest strength was its capacity to hope, to adapt, and to rise. The stars beyond awaited, full of dangers and wonders alike. And Valkyrie, with Natalie Green at its helm, was ready to meet the challenge. The battle against the void had drawn a new line across the cosmos, marking the beginning of a war humanity could no longer ignore. Yet even as Valkyrie's crew braced for what lay ahead, the Cosmic Alliance began to reveal its true strength: not just technology or knowledge, but connection. The Lumina introduced Natalie and her team to emissaries from distant civilizations, beings who had also faced the shadow of the void and survived. These allies came in many forms: shimmering energy beings who communicated through light and color, towering silicon-based lifeforms whose thoughts were encoded in complex vibrations, even biomechanical hybrids with a deep understanding of both organic and artificial intelligence. The meetings were unlike anything Natalie had imagined. Despite their differences, these beings shared a common goal: to protect the universe's light and ensure the survival of all life. The alliances forged were fragile yet vital, built on trust, respect, and a shared history of loss and resilience. One emissary, named Kalen, became a key figure in the coalition. His species had once lost an entire star system to the void but had rebuilt from the ashes, turning tragedy into strength. "We learn not just to fight the darkness, but to shine through it," Kalen told Natalie during one of their exchanges. The Lumina shared advanced strategies combining their technology with the unique abilities of their allies. Valkyrie's crew trained tirelessly to master new defensive and offensive techniques, incorporating alien tech adapted to their own systems. Back on Earth, Elon Musk worked feverishly to integrate these new allies into human understanding, using his platform to inspire global cooperation. Yet, the challenge remained immense. Fear and skepticism ran deep among Earth's population, many unable to grasp the vastness and complexity of the cosmic war unfolding. To bridge the gap, Natalie and Elon coordinated a broadcast directly from Valkyrie, sharing their experiences, the allies they had met, and the importance of unity. "This is our fight," Natalie declared, her voice steady and passionate. "We are not alone. Together, we are stronger than any darkness." The broadcast sparked hope across continents. People from all walks of life responded: scientists, artists, activists, offering their skills and support. The world began to shift, slowly but surely, toward collaboration. Meanwhile, the void's menace grew more cunning. Its probes adapted, infiltrating sensor networks and attempting to disrupt communication between allies. Valkyrie's AI detected subtle distortions in spacetime, signs that the void was experimenting with new forms of attack. The coalition's leaders convened to strategize. Kalen proposed a bold plan: to establish a network of light beacons powered by combined technologies, creating safe zones where the void's influence would be neutralized. Valkyrie would lead the mission to deploy these beacons in key locations, including Earth's orbit and nearby star systems. The operation required precision and courage. As the crew prepared for deployment, Natalie reflected on the transformations she and her team had undergone, from earthbound explorers to cosmic warriors. The alliances forged had expanded their horizons, revealing a universe teeming with life and possibility. But the stakes had never been higher. The void's shadow loomed large, threatening to erase everything they fought to protect. The deployment mission was a success, but not without peril. The void sent waves of dark energy to intercept the beacons, leading to intense skirmishes in the void of space. Valkyrie's shields held, powered by the fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology. Each victory was a testament to unity and determination. During a rare moment of calm, Natalie stood once more on the observation deck, gazing out at the stars. The battles ahead would test every fiber of their beings, but she found solace in the strength of their alliances. The cosmic library, the Watchers, the Lumina, and their new allies, all threads woven into a tapestry of hope. "We are not alone," she whispered. "And together, we will endure." The fight for the universe's light was far from over, but with courage, trust, and the bonds forged among stars, humanity's place among the cosmos was secured, not just as observers, but as guardians. Despite the victories and the growing alliance, a shadow began to creep not only across the cosmos but within the hearts of Valkyrie's crew and humanity itself. The war against the void was as much a battle of trust and faith as it was of technology and strategy. Natalie Green felt the strain acutely. Late nights in the command center were filled with difficult decisions, unanswered questions, and moments of quiet desperation. Not all were convinced that the alliance was the right path. Among the crew, whispers of doubt surfaced. Some feared that the knowledge they'd gained came at too high a price. That merging with alien technology and entities risked losing humanity's identity. Marcus Lee, ever the skeptic, voiced concerns about the long-term consequences of such integration. "What if we're trading one kind of darkness for another?" he asked during a tense meeting. Meanwhile, back on Earth, political leaders, and the public wrestled with their own fears. Some factions spread misinformation, suggesting the Cosmic Alliance was a cover for control and domination. Distrust threatened to unravel the fragile global cooperation Elon Musk had worked so hard to build. Elon himself faced criticism from powerful adversaries who sought to exploit the chaos for their gain. The pressure mounted as Valkyrie's communications with Earth grew strained. The crew felt isolated, caught between two worlds. The Lumina and other allies sensed the tension and offered counsel. "Fear feeds the void," Kalen warned Natalie. "You must find the balance between caution and courage." Natalie understood this well. She convened a council meeting, bringing together representatives from Valkyrie's crew, the Lumina, and human leaders connected through secure channels. The discussion was raw and honest. Voices clashed over how to proceed, weighing risks against the urgent need for unity. Natalie spoke from the heart, sharing her own fears and hopes. "We cannot let doubt paralyze us," she said. "Our strength lies in facing the unknown together, even when the path is uncertain." The turning point came when a distress signal arrived from a nearby star system under sudden attack by the void. The message was fragmented but clear: entire populations were disappearing, worlds being erased. This brutal reminder of the stakes silenced many critics. Valkyrie's crew and their allies mobilized immediately. The mission was perilous, venturing into the heart of darkness to rescue survivors and gather critical intelligence. As they approached the system, the ship's sensors picked up eerie anomalies: space distorted, stars flickering out, and shadows moving where light should be. The rescue operation was fraught with danger. The crew worked with precision and empathy, risking everything to save lives. Natalie led from the front, her resolve unshaken despite the overwhelming odds. The survivors told stories of hope and loss, of civilizations fighting to hold on to their light. These testimonies strengthened the crew's conviction that their mission transcended politics and fear. Back on Earth, Elon Musk broadcast a message to the world, sharing the harrowing accounts and urging renewed unity. "The darkness is real," he said. "But so is our capacity to overcome it, if we stand together." Yet, even as hope flickered anew, the battle within human hearts continued. Natalie sought solace in her own reflections and the wisdom of her parents, whose sacrifices echoed in her resolve. She realized that the fight against the void was also a fight for humanity's soul, a test of whether they could hold on to compassion, trust, and courage in the face of overwhelming darkness. As Valkyrie returned from the rescue mission, the crew embraced the survivors and each other, united not just by duty but by shared humanity. The alliances held, strengthened by the trials. Natalie stood on the observation deck once more, the stars seeming to shine a little brighter despite the encroaching shadows. "We carry the light," she whispered. "And no darkness can extinguish that." The journey ahead was still uncertain, fraught with challenges both external and internal. But in the hearts of those aboard Valkyrie, and in the countless souls connected across the cosmos, hope endured, a beacon in the vast, mysterious night. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? As Valkyrie sailed through the endless black of space, a new mystery emerged that threatened to alter everything the crew had learned about the Void and the Cosmic Alliance. Marcus Lee, who had spent countless hours studying the Watcher's archives and Lumina's data, discovered an anomaly buried deep within the encoded transmissions they had been receiving since first encountering the Watchers. At first, it appeared to be a glitch, random bursts of data that didn't fit with the rest of the signal. But upon closer examination, Marcus realized it was a hidden code, a secret message embedded within the cosmic communications, like a whisper from the past or a warning for the future. The code's complexity was staggering. It wasn't just a series of numbers or symbols but a multidimensional encryption, weaving math, music, and patterns of light. Natalie gathered the key minds aboard Valkyrie, including Marcus, the Lumina scholars, and the ship's AI, to attempt decoding the message. Hours turned into days as they worked tirelessly, breaking through layer after layer of encryption. Slowly, the code revealed a story. One that spanned millions of years and chronicled a forgotten chapter of cosmic history. It spoke of a time before the void's rise, when the universe was vibrant with countless civilizations collaborating to build a network of knowledge and peace. This network, the code explained, was the true origin of the Watchers and the Lumina, guardians created to preserve and protect that legacy. But then came the betrayal. A faction within the Cosmic Alliance, driven by fear and ambition, had fractured the unity. This fracture gave the void its opening, a parasitic force born from the remnants of conflict and despair, spreading darkness to consume all light. The code contained more than history, it held a formula, a blueprint for a weapon or device powerful enough to halt the void's advance. But the key to activating this technology required not just knowledge, but unity, the combined will of all beings committed to preserving life and light. Natalie felt the significance of this revelation deep within her. The cosmic war was more than a battle, it was a test of whether diversity and cooperation could triumph over fear and division. She shared the findings with Elon Musk via secure communication. Elon, equally captivated by the implications, pushed for immediate collaboration between Earth's scientists and the cosmic allies. This could be our last chance, he warned. Yet, the path was far from straightforward. The factions within the alliance were wary, some reluctant to embrace the forgotten history or the proposed solution. Old wounds and mistrust lingered like shadows in the brightest starfields. Natalie worked to bridge these divides, appealing to shared values and the urgency of their mission. The void thrives on our doubts and divisions, she reminded them. Only together can we unlock the power to stop it. The crew of Valkyrie took the hidden code as a beacon of hope, redoubling their efforts to integrate technologies and cultures. Engineers experimented with the blueprint, adapting the principles to Valkyrie's systems, while diplomats and scholars sought to heal rifts among allies. In the midst of this, Natalie found a personal connection to the code story. The betrayal and hope it spoke of mirrored the struggles of her own family, the sacrifices of her parents and the legacy she carried forward. The code became a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest times, light could be rekindled through unity and courage. As the days passed, Valkyrie's crew prepared for the next phase, activating the device encoded in the message. This mission would require precise coordination, immense energy, and the trust of their allies across the stars. Natalie knew that success was not guaranteed, but failure was unthinkable. The fate of countless civilizations hung in the balance. Standing once more on the observation deck, she looked out into the vast expanse, the stars shimmering like distant promises. "We hold the key," she whispered. "And now, it's time to turn it." Igniting a sense of urgency and cautious optimism. As the weeks passed, the blueprint encoded in a cosmic message became the centerpiece of their efforts. It described a device unlike any technology humanity or their allies had ever encountered, a mechanism capable of harnessing the fundamental energy of stars themselves, converting it into a weapon of pure light powerful enough to push back the void. The Lumina scholars called it, the Beacon of Loomis, a name that resonated with hope and the promise of salvation. Constructing the device required a fusion of advanced alien technology, human engineering, and a profound understanding of cosmic energy patterns. Valkyrie's engineering bay transformed into a hive of innovation, where human and alien technicians worked side by side, their skills complementing one another in a symphony of creation. Marcus Lee led the technical team, coordinating the integration of alien crystal matrices with Earth-based superconductors, while Natalie oversaw the project's strategic and ethical considerations. The task was monumental, but the crew's determination never wavered. The device's core was a crystalline structure designed to channel and amplify starlight through an intricate lattice of quantum conduits. Its activation required precise alignment with stellar bodies and a unified surge of energy from across the cosmic alliance. To test the concept, small-scale prototypes were built and experimented with, their bursts of light cutting through the darkness of Valkyrie's testing chambers like miniature suns. Each successful trial was a victory, fueling hope. Yet the dangers were real and ever-present. The Void's forces were adapting, launching attacks aimed at disrupting construction and stealing data. Valkyrie's defenses were pushed to their limits, and the crew suffered losses that reminded them of the high stakes. During one harrowing encounter, the ship was caught in a gravitational distortion created by the void, nearly tearing it apart. Natalie's calm leadership and the crew's bravery pulled them through, but the scars remained, both on the ship and in their hearts. As construction neared completion, a critical challenge emerged. Activating the device would require a collective effort that transcended technology. It demanded the willingness of all allied species, and humanity, to synchronize their energies, their intentions, and their hopes. This was more than a physical connection, it was a spiritual and emotional bond. Natalie convened a council of representatives, including Elon and Elon Musk, to discuss how to prepare for the activation. The conversation was deep and introspective, exploring the meaning of unity and trust in the face of overwhelming darkness. Elon spoke of humanity's capacity for resilience and innovation, urging Earth's population to embrace this moment as a turning point. The Lumina shared meditative techniques and communication practices to help align minds and hearts across vast distances. Training sessions were held aboard Valkyrie, where the crew practiced synchronization rituals designed to harmonize their energies. These moments were powerful and humbling, bringing them closer not only to the mission but to each other. The day of activation arrived amid a cosmic alignment that amplified the device's potential. Valkyrie positioned itself near a pulsar star, its intense emissions serving as the energy source for the beacon of Loomis. The ship's crew and their allies across the stars prepared to channel their combined energies, a web of light stretching across the galaxy. Natalie stood at the heart of the command center, feeling the weight of countless lives resting on her shoulders. The countdown began, and as the device powered up, a brilliant beam of light shot forth, piercing the void like a sword of hope. The effect was immediate and awe-inspiring. The darkness began to retreat, stars once dimmed flaring back to life, and the eerie silence replaced by a chorus of cosmic resonance. But the victory was tempered by the knowledge that the war was not yet over. The void, wounded but not defeated, would return. Yet this moment marked a turning point, the first true pushback against the shadow. In the days that followed, messages of hope and solidarity echoed across the alliance. Earth's people looked up at the night sky, seeing the beacon's light stretching across the void, a reminder that even in the darkest times, unity and courage could forge a path forward. Natalie reflected on the journey, from a young woman chasing the stars to a leader guiding a cosmic alliance through its darkest hour. The beacon of Loomis was more than a device, it was a symbol of what could be achieved when beings came together, transcending fear and difference. The story was far from over, but the light now shone brighter than ever before. Just as the light of the beacon of Loomis began to ripple across the cosmos, a chilling revelation sent shockwaves through the cosmic alliance. The fragile network of trust, painstakingly built over months of cooperation, was about to face its greatest test. It started with subtle signs, communications disrupted, supply lines mysteriously delayed, and whispers of sabotage aboard Valkyrie. Natalie Green felt the weight of suspicion heavy in the air, an invisible tension threatening to unravel everything they had fought for. Despite her confidence in the crew and allies, she knew the void had sown seeds of distrust, exploiting old wounds and fears to weaken their unity from within. The first confirmed act of betrayal came when a critical component of the beacon was found damaged, its intricate crystal lattice fractured in a way that could only be deliberate. The damage risked shutting down the entire device, undoing weeks of work. An emergency investigation was launched. The Lumina and Valkyrie's security team worked tirelessly to uncover the culprit. It was a painstaking process, examining logs, analyzing data, and interviewing crew members and allies. The discovery shocked everyone, a trusted advisor from one of the allied species was implicated. The advisor, a being named Varek, had long been a bridge between his people and the coalition. His motives were murky, tangled in a history of fear and old rivalries. Confronted with the evidence, Varek confessed, revealing a chilling truth: some factions within the alliance feared the power of the beacon, worrying it might upset the cosmic balance or grant too much influence to humanity. They believed weakening the device was necessary to prevent a new form of domination. Natalie grappled with the betrayal's implications. The fight against the void was not just a battle of light against darkness but a struggle to reconcile differing visions of the future. She addressed the alliance, her voice steady but filled with sorrow and resolve. "We cannot allow fear to divide us," she said. "Our strength is in unity, in trust. Without that, we fall to the very darkness we fight." Varek's actions forced the coalition to confront uncomfortable truths about power, fear, and control. Discussions became raw and honest, revealing fractures that had long simmered beneath the surface. Yet, amid the turmoil, a renewed commitment emerged, to rebuild trust and reaffirm their shared purpose. Natalie worked closely with diplomats and leaders to foster transparency and dialogue. She recognized that true unity required not just technology but empathy and understanding. Meanwhile, Elon Musk coordinated with Earth's leaders to strengthen global support, emphasizing that humanity's role was not to dominate but to collaborate. The beacon's repair became a symbol of this renewed effort. Engineers and technicians, human and alien alike, joined forces once more, their determination unshaken. The device was restored, stronger and more resilient, embodying the lessons learned from betrayal and forgiveness. As the beacon came back online, its light shone even brighter, a testament to the power of overcoming division. But Natalie knew the path ahead would remain challenging. The void was relentless, and the shadows within the alliance a reminder that vigilance and trust must be constant. Standing on the observation deck, she gazed out into the vast cosmos, feeling both the burden and the hope of leadership. "We fight not just the darkness outside," she whispered, "but the shadows within ourselves. Only then can the light truly prevail." The unexpected betrayal had tested the alliance, but it also strengthened the bonds that would carry them forward in the cosmic war. The fight for the universe's future was far from over, but with courage, honesty, and unity, there was a chance to win, and to shine. The battle to restore trust within the cosmic alliance had been won, but a new, more dangerous challenge emerged. To truly defeat the void, they needed to understand it on a deeper level. The void was not merely an enemy, it was a cosmic mystery, a force that defied explanation and threatened existence itself. Natalie Green, driven by the conviction that knowledge was their greatest weapon, pushed Valkyrie's sensors and AI systems to their limits in an attempt to unravel the enigma of the void. The ship entered the most dangerous sector yet, a region where stars vanished, and space seemed to ripple with unnatural energy. It was here that the void's power was strongest, and the risk of being consumed was highest. As Valkyrie drifted closer to the epicenter, the crew observed phenomena that challenged everything they thought they knew about physics. Time dilated, gravity warped, and strange energy pulses disrupted their instruments. Yet, amid the chaos, they detected faint signals. Echoes of something intelligent, perhaps even conscious, embedded within the void's darkness. Marcus Lee and the AI worked to isolate and decode these signals, revealing fragmented patterns that hinted at an origin story. The void, it seemed, was not born of malice but of catastrophic cosmic events, collapsing stars and shattered realities that fused into a sentient entity driven by survival instinct and hunger for energy. This revelation shifted the Alliance's perspective. The void was no mindless destroyer but a complex, tormented force, as much a victim as a threat. Natalie grappled with the moral implications. Could they find a way to coexist or even heal the void instead of simply destroying it? The Lumina elders suggested ancient rituals of restoration, while Elon Musk proposed technological solutions that might stabilize the void's energy rather than eradicate it. Debates raged among the Alliance, reflecting deep philosophical divides. Meanwhile, Valkyrie's sensors detected a massive structure hidden within the void's shadow, a colossal artifact pulsing with dark energy, unlike anything encountered before. Theories abounded: a prison, a seed, or the core of the void's consciousness. Natalie decided to lead a daring mission to investigate. The approach was perilous. The ship's shield strained against waves of corrosive energy, and communication with allies grew patchy. Yet the crew's resolve remained steadfast. Upon arrival, they found the artifact was ancient, crafted by a civilization long lost, one that had faced the void and perhaps tried to contain it. Inside, intricate carvings and holographic records told stories of sacrifice and desperation. The artifact was both a warning and a key, a reminder that the void's darkness had roots deep in cosmic history and that its solution might lie in understanding that past. Natalie realized that the war was not just about survival but about remembering forgotten truths. The crew worked to extract data, piecing together the civilization's knowledge, hoping it would reveal new strategies. But as they delved deeper, the void reacted violently, sending waves of energy that shook Valkyrie and threatened to tear it apart. In a climactic moment, Natalie ordered a full retreat, prioritizing the safety of her crew and the precious knowledge they carried. The encounter left them shaken but enlightened. They now knew the void's complexity demanded more than brute force, it required wisdom, compassion, and innovative thinking. Back aboard Valkyrie, the Alliance gathered to reflect on the findings. Natalie shared her vision of a new approach, one that combined the beacon's power with the knowledge gleaned from the artifact to not just repel the void but to transform the battle itself. Elon Musk's support was unwavering, rallying Earth's resources to back this bold new strategy. The story of the void was far from over, but with every discovery, the Alliance grew stronger and more hopeful. Natalie stood again at the observation deck, the stars flickering with renewed light. "In darkness, there is also the possibility of dawn," she said quietly. "We must seek not only to fight but to understand, because only then can we truly bring the light." The revelation of the void's true nature forced the Cosmic Alliance into a profound transformation. The old ways of fighting, through brute force and suspicion, were no longer enough. Instead, the Alliance needed to be rebuilt on foundations of trust, understanding, and shared purpose, if they were to stand any chance against the shadow that threatened the universe. Natalie Green became the beacon for this rebirth. Her leadership, tempered by hardship and enlightened by the knowledge uncovered in the void's artifact, inspired a new wave of cooperation among the diverse species and factions. Diplomats convened in the orbit of a massive, ancient space station known as the Haven, a neutral ground steeped in history, where countless civilizations had once met in peace. The station's vast halls echoed with conversations in countless languages, the air alive with cautious optimism. Here, Natalie addressed the gathered leaders and representatives, her voice steady and filled with resolve. "We are no longer just allies fighting a common enemy. We must become a true alliance, a family united not only by necessity but by vision. The void has shown us the cost of division. Now, we choose unity." The response was mixed but hopeful. Old grudges lingered, but the shared threat and recent trials had softened hearts hardened by fear. Many spoke of the sacrifices made, the betrayals endured, and the lessons learned. Among them, Varek, the former betrayer, stepped forward with humility, offering his people's commitment to the new alliance. Natalie accepted, understanding that redemption was vital to lasting peace. Back aboard Valkyrie, the practical work of rebuilding began. Technology, culture, and knowledge were shared freely, forging bonds that transcended species and histories. Engineers integrated alien technologies with human innovation, creating hybrid systems that were stronger and more adaptable. Cultural exchanges flourished, with artists, scholars, and diplomats sharing stories, music, and traditions. Elon Musk remained a powerful advocate, coordinating efforts from Earth and emphasizing the importance of hope and vision. "Our greatest strength," he said, "is not just technology, but our ability to dream and work together toward a future where light prevails." The beacon of Loomis, now repaired and enhanced, became the symbol of this new alliance. Its light was broadcast not only across the stars but into the hearts of those who looked up, a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope could shine brightest. Yet, challenges remained. The void's influence continued to seep through cracks in the alliance, and new threats emerged, shadowy factions seeking to exploit fear and chaos for their own gain. Natalie and her team faced constant tests of their resolve and unity. Training programs were established to prepare new generations of warriors, diplomats, and scientists who would carry the Alliance forward. These programs emphasized not only skill but empathy and understanding, reflecting the lessons of the past. Amidst the political and strategic work, personal relationships deepened. Natalie found solace and strength in her friendships with Elon, Marcus, and even Varek, whose journey from betrayer to ally was a testament to the possibility of change. Elon's support was unwavering, and his occasional visits aboard Valkyrie were moments of inspiration and innovation. Together, they envisioned a future where Earth and the stars were not separated by fear but connected by shared dreams. The Alliance was reborn, fragile but fierce, a tapestry woven from countless threads of hope, sacrifice, and determination. Natalie stood once more on Valkyrie's observation deck, looking out at the vastness with renewed purpose. The stars were no longer distant points of light but beacons of possibility. "We have chosen our path," she whispered. "And together, we will walk it into the light." With the Alliance reborn and strengthened, Valkyrie embarked on a bold new mission. To push beyond the known boundaries of the solar system and explore uncharted regions of space where the void's influence was suspected but still a mystery. Natalie Green, alongside Elon Musk and the crew, understood that knowledge was their greatest weapon, and discovery their hope for survival. The solar system's familiar planets had long been studied, mapped, and colonized, but beyond lay the vast darkness of interstellar space, a frontier full of unknown dangers and wonders. Valkyrie's upgraded engines, powered by hybrid alien and human technology, enabled faster-than-ever travel, cutting through light years in a fraction of the time. The crew's excitement mixed with trepidation as the ship sailed into the void beyond Neptune, where stars were scarce and the silence deep. The sensors picked up faint energy fluctuations, signs that the void's shadow stretched far and wide. As they ventured further, strange phenomena began to emerge, nebulas that pulsed with eerie colors, fields of dark matter twisting space itself, and abandoned outposts of ancient civilizations long lost to time. Each discovery revealed clues about the cosmic war raging beyond, and the resilience of life in the face of darkness. During one exploration, the crew encountered a derelict spacecraft drifting silently, its hull scarred by battle but still intact. Inside, they found logs from a lost expedition, telling a story of bravery and sacrifice in the face of the void. These records inspired the crew, connecting them with those who had fought before and reminding them of their shared purpose. Natalie and Elon often discussed the philosophical implications of their journey. Elon was fascinated by the interplay of technology and human spirit, believing that innovation was driven by curiosity and hope. Natalie reflected on the emotional toll, the loneliness of deep space, and the strength found in camaraderie. Their partnership, both professional and personal, became a source of balance and inspiration. As Valkyrie pushed deeper into unknown territory, new allies were discovered. Nomadic species and civilizations who had evaded the void by retreating into hidden corners of the galaxy. These encounters brought fresh perspectives and technologies, enriching the Alliance's collective strength. Yet, danger lurked constantly. The void's minions ambushed the ship more than once, their attacks growing more sophisticated and desperate. Each skirmish tested Valkyrie's defenses and the crew's resolve, reinforcing the harsh reality that the war was far from over. During one intense battle near a binary star system, Valkyrie's shields were critically damaged, and Natalie faced a moment of crisis. The ship's survival depended on split-second decisions and the trust between crew members. With calm determination, she coordinated repairs while directing counterattacks, embodying the spirit of leadership forged through trials. The battle was won, but it left scars and a renewed understanding of the void's relentless hunger. Despite the dangers, the journey into the new frontier was a beacon of hope. It symbolized humanity's refusal to be confined by fear or darkness. Each discovery, each alliance forged, brought them closer to a future where light could reclaim the cosmos. As Valkyrie cruised onward, Natalie stood once again at the observation deck, gazing at stars never before seen by human eyes. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "The universe is vast, and so is our hope." The deeper Valkyrie ventured into the uncharted regions of space, the more evident it became that the Void's influence was not limited to external threats. Shadows lurked within the Alliance itself, threatening to unravel the fragile bonds painstakingly forged. Natalie Green had hoped that the rebirth of the Alliance would bring lasting unity, but the truth was more complicated. Old fears and mistrust still simmered beneath the surface, occasionally erupting in heated disputes or covert sabotage. As tensions rose, Natalie found herself balancing the demands of leadership with the need to maintain fragile diplomacy. The crew became a microcosm of the Alliance's struggles. Conflicting agendas, cultural misunderstandings, and personal rivalries sometimes erupted into conflict aboard Valkyrie, despite the common goal. The presence of Varek, once a betrayer now a tentative ally, was a constant reminder of past wounds. Some welcomed his transformation, while others remained wary, questioning whether his loyalty could be fully trusted. In the midst of these internal struggles, mysterious incidents began to occur: critical data corrupted, navigation systems malfunctioning, and unauthorized access to secure areas. The security team, led by Marcus Lee, launched a discreet investigation that revealed a web of espionage, agents working secretly to undermine the Alliance from within, some motivated by fear, others by ambition or allegiance to unknown factions. Natalie realized that the Void's greatest weapon might not be its destructive power but its ability to sow discord and suspicion among those who opposed it. To confront this threat, she initiated a series of transparent meetings and trust-building exercises designed to heal divisions and encourage openness. She invited all members of the Alliance, from the highest leaders to the newest recruits, to share their fears and hopes. These sessions were difficult but cathartic, revealing hidden pain and shared dreams. Amidst the tension, new friendships and alliances blossomed. Kalen, the Lumina diplomat, played a crucial role, bridging gaps with empathy and ancient wisdom. Elon Musk advocated for technological solutions, proposing enhanced communication networks that would foster transparency and reduce misunderstandings. Yet, not all were willing to change. Some factions resisted the new openness, clinging to old power structures and suspicion. This resistance culminated in a dramatic confrontation when a sabotage attempt nearly disabled Valkyrie's critical systems during a crucial mission. The culprits were exposed, a coalition of disillusioned officers and external agents working to destabilize the Alliance and tip the balance back to chaos. The betrayal was a painful blow, shaking the crew's faith and forcing Natalie to make difficult decisions. She convened an emergency council to address the crisis, emphasizing the need for accountability and healing. "We cannot afford to let shadows divide us," she declared. "Our strength lies in facing our fears together, in choosing light over darkness." The incident became a turning point. Security protocols were strengthened, and a new code of ethics was established, emphasizing unity, respect, and vigilance. The Alliance grew more resilient, its members united not only by external threats but by a shared commitment to overcome internal darkness. In quiet moments, Natalie reflected on the complexity of leadership, the balance between trust and caution, hope and realism. The battle against the Void was not just fought in the stars but in the hearts and minds of those who dared to stand against it. As Valkyrie continued its journey, the crew remained vigilant, their resolve hardened but their spirits hopeful. "The greatest battles are often within," Natalie mused, "but with courage, even the deepest shadows can be overcome." Valkyrie cruised through the shadowed expanse beyond the solar system. A new mystery emerged, one that promised to unravel secrets long buried and challenge everything the Alliance thought they knew about the Void. The ship's sensors, constantly scanning the Void for signs of danger, picked up an anomalous signal, faint, encrypted, and unlike anything recorded before. Marcus Lee, ever vigilant, was the first to notice the irregular pattern buried within the cosmic noise. It was a series of pulses, rhythmic yet chaotic, suggesting intelligence but defying conventional communication methods. Natalie Green convened the senior team to analyze the signal, their excitement tempered by caution. Could this be a message from a new ally, a trap set by the Void, or something altogether different? Elon Musk immediately saw the potential, if decoded, the signal might offer critical insights into the void's origins or weaknesses. Marcus and the AI labored for days, using every tool at their disposal, quantum decryption algorithms, alien cipher models, and machine learning, to unravel the mystery. The signal's complexity hinted at an ancient origin, layered with multiple encryptions and embedded metadata. As the team peeled back each layer, the message began to take shape. It was a warning, sent from deep within the void's heart, by a lost civilization desperate to prevent the spread of darkness. The transmission revealed fragmented histories, tales of planets consumed, civilizations erased, and heroes who had fought valiantly but ultimately succumbed. Most compelling was the hint of a hidden sanctuary, a place untouched by the void's corruption, where knowledge and hope might be preserved. The discovery sent ripples through the alliance. Some feared it was a trap, while others saw it as a beacon of hope. Natalie decided to follow the signal, setting a course toward the coordinates encoded within. The journey was perilous, navigating regions warped by the void's influence, where gravity wells twisted unpredictably and time seemed distorted. Along the way, the crew faced unexpected obstacles, sensor disruptions, hostile ambushes by void creatures, and eerie phenomena that tested their resolve. But the promise of salvation drove them forward. When Valkyrie finally reached the coordinates, they found a hidden star system cloaked by dark energy but remarkably intact. Orbiting a dying sun was a massive structure, an ark of sorts, built to shelter knowledge and life from the void's ravages. Boarding the ark, Natalie and her team were awestruck by its advanced technology and preserved records. The ark's AI, a relic of the lost civilization, activated and shared its last message, a plea for future generations to learn, unite, and fight the darkness with wisdom and courage. The ark contained not only history but tools and strategies that could turn the tide in the cosmic war. Yet, the encounter was bittersweet. The ark's creators had perished, their sacrifice a solemn reminder of the stakes involved. Natalie vowed that their legacy would not be forgotten. As Valkyrie departed, the Alliance's hope was reignited. The hidden signal had brought them closer to understanding the void and reaffirmed their purpose. Elon Musk emphasized the significance of collaboration, reminding all that survival depended on unity and innovation. Natalie, standing once again on the observation deck, felt the weight of responsibility but also a renewed determination. This message from the past, she said quietly, is a call to action, for us to be the light that guides the universe through darkness. Following the discovery of the hidden ark and the ancient message encoded in the mysterious signal, Valkyrie's course was set for the most dangerous region of space yet, the heart of the void itself. Natalie Green knew this mission could be the turning point, a chance to confront the source of the darkness and possibly end the cosmic threat once and for all. The journey into the void's core was a descent into chaos. The ship's shields were tested relentlessly by waves of corrosive energy and gravitational distortions that bent light and time. Crew members braced against nausea and fatigue as the environment seemed to assault their very senses. Yet, the deeper they traveled, the more they witnessed the void's terrifying scale, not just a force but a sprawling realm of twisted matter and energy, where reality itself was fractured. Strange creatures, born from the void's corruption, lurked in the shadows, attacking Valkyrie in waves. The battles were brutal, pushing the crew's skill and endurance to the limit. Natalie coordinated defenses with calm authority, inspiring her team despite exhaustion. The ship's AI adapted quickly, learning from each encounter, but the threat was unrelenting. Amid the chaos, a beacon of hope emerged. The knowledge from the Ark provided new technology and strategies that enhanced Valkyrie's defenses and weapons. These innovations allowed the crew to fight back with renewed vigor, turning the tide in several engagements. As they neared the void center, the ship's sensors detected a massive structure, a nexus of energy and dark matter that pulsed like a heart, feeding the void's expansion. This was the core, the source of the cosmic darkness. Approaching cautiously, Natalie ordered scans and preparations for a potential boarding mission. The tension aboard Valkyrie was palpable, every system was on high alert. The crew knew that what awaited inside could change everything. When the boarding party entered the Nexus, they were met with a surreal landscape of swirling shadows and flickering lights, an environment that seemed alive and sentient. The party encountered manifestations of their deepest fears and regrets, psychological trials designed to break their spirit. Natalie, drawing on her strength and the support of her friends, led them through these trials, reminding them of their mission and the light they carried within. Deeper inside the Nexus, they discovered the core entity, a vast, incomprehensible intelligence that embodied the void. This entity revealed its tragic origin. Born from a cosmic catastrophe, it sought to survive by consuming energy, but in its hunger, it had become a force of destruction. Natalie engaged the entity not with weapons but with empathy, appealing to its lost consciousness and the hope for redemption. This unprecedented act of compassion created a fissure in the void's darkness. The entity hesitated, its destructive impulses conflicted with newfound understanding. Using the Ark's technology, the crew initiated a stabilization process, aiming to contain and transform the void rather than destroy it. The process was dangerous and uncertain, but the Alliance's combined efforts forged a delicate balance. The core's energy began to shift from destruction to renewal, creating a ripple of healing across the void's expanse. The battle was far from over, but a new chapter had begun, one of possibility and hope. Natalie and her crew emerged from the heart of darkness changed, carrying the legacy of courage, unity, and the belief that even the deepest shadows could give way to light. As Valkyrie charted a course back toward the Alliance, Natalie reflected on their journey. The void was no longer just an enemy but a part of the cosmic story, a reminder that survival required understanding, compassion, and unwavering hope. Standing on the observation deck, she gazed into the stars, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "We have touched the heart of darkness," she said softly, and found the spark of light within. After the harrowing confrontation at the void's core, Valkyrie began its journey back toward the Alliance's stronghold, carrying with it not only critical data but a renewed sense of purpose. The cosmic battle had changed the crew in profound ways, each member grappling with the enormity of what they had faced and what still lay ahead. Natalie Green felt the weight of leadership more keenly than ever. The fragile peace forged in the heart of darkness was just the beginning. Now came the challenge of rebuilding, healing, and preparing for the inevitable repercussions. The Alliance itself was not immune to these ripples. News of the encounter with the Void's core spread quickly, sparking both hope and fear across the stars. Some factions celebrated the breakthrough, eager to strengthen ties and push forward with new strategies. Others reacted with skepticism or outright fear, worrying that the entity might still pose a hidden threat. Within Valkyrie's corridors, tension simmered as the crew adjusted to a new reality. The psychological scars of their journey manifested in sleepless nights, vivid nightmares, and moments of doubt. Marcus Lee took the lead in establishing support groups and counseling sessions, encouraging openness and mutual support. Natalie found comfort in the steadfast presence of Elon and Elon Musk, whose vision and resolve never wavered. Together, they worked tirelessly to interpret the Ark's vast repository of knowledge, unlocking technologies and wisdom that could reshape the Alliance's future. One of the most promising breakthroughs was a system designed to harmonize energy flows, potentially capable of stabilizing other regions threatened by the Void's corruption. But as progress accelerated, new mysteries emerged. Strange signals began to appear on the outskirts of Allied space, echoes of the Void's shifting nature or perhaps the stirrings of other unknown forces. These signs hinted that the cosmic balance was delicate and could be disrupted at any moment. Natalie convened an emergency summit on the Haven station, bringing together leaders from all corners of the Alliance. The atmosphere was charged with urgency as strategies were debated, alliances tested, and visions for the future articulated. In a stirring address, Natalie reminded everyone of their shared destiny. We stand at a crossroads. The choices we make now will shape the cosmos for generations to come. We must face the darkness not as isolated factions but as one united force. The summit ended with a renewed commitment to cooperation, research, and defense, and the establishment of a rapid response fleet equipped with the Ark's technology. Meanwhile, personal transformations continued aboard Valkyrie. Varek, once a symbol of betrayal, emerged as a respected strategist and advocate for peace, his journey inspiring others to embrace change and forgiveness. Elon Musk proposed ambitious projects to expand humanity's reach, envisioning colonies beyond the solar system built on principles of unity and sustainability. Natalie herself grew into a leader not only of battles but of hearts and minds. She understood that true victory required more than technology and strength, it demanded empathy, resilience, and hope. Standing on the observation deck, watching the stars pulse with renewed life, she reflected on the journey's lessons. The void had tested them all, revealing the fragility and strength of existence. But in facing the greatest darkness, they had discovered their brightest light. As Valkyrie moved steadily forward, the crew prepared for the challenges yet to come, united by a shared purpose and the belief that the universe was worth fighting for. "Our story is far from over," Natalie whispered. "But together, we will write its next chapter in the stars." The days following the summit on Haven Station were a whirlwind of activity, as the Alliance scrambled to integrate the Ark's vast trove of knowledge into their existing frameworks. Natalie Green, Elon Musk, and the combined scientific teams dove into the intricate blueprints and ancient data archives, eager to unlock every fragment of wisdom that could aid in their ongoing battle against the void. It was during one of these intensive sessions that the true magnitude of NASA's secret began to surface, a discovery so monumental it could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Hidden deep within the Ark's encrypted archives was evidence of an ancient technology far surpassing anything humanity or its allies had ever seen, technology that could manipulate the very fabric of spacetime. The implications were staggering. If harnessed properly, this technology could enable near-instantaneous travel across vast distances, potentially opening pathways to unexplored galaxies and dimensions. But with such power came grave risks. The Ark's creators had documented warnings of instability, cautioning that misuse could tear apart reality itself. Elon Musk, driven by his relentless curiosity and vision, pushed for a cautious yet ambitious approach to studying the technology. He advocated assembling a specialized team, composed of the brightest minds from the Alliance, to experiment with controlled applications under strict protocols. Natalie supported the plan, recognizing the balance between innovation and prudence as crucial to survival. As research advanced, unexpected revelations about the void's nature emerged. The entity they had confronted at its core was not merely a force of destruction but part of a larger cosmic cycle, one that involved creation, decay, and rebirth on a scale beyond comprehension. This cycle hinted that the void's expansion was a natural phenomenon, albeit one accelerated and distorted by ancient cataclysms. The Alliance grappled with this new perspective. Could the void be understood, perhaps even integrated, rather than simply fought? These questions stirred philosophical debates alongside scientific inquiry. Amid this intellectual upheaval, a breakthrough came in the form of a prototype device capable of stabilizing localized spacetime distortions. Testing the device aboard Valkyrie, the team witnessed for the first time the bending of space that could make distant travel instantaneous, a glimpse of the future Elon had always imagined. Yet, not all were convinced. Some Alliance leaders feared that tampering with such forces might awaken dormant threats or provoke unpredictable cosmic responses. They urged caution, reminding everyone of the Ark's warnings. Meanwhile, political tensions simmered beneath the surface. The power to control spacetime could shift the balance of power dramatically, and factions jockeyed for influence over the technology's development. Natalie found herself navigating a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and agendas, striving to keep the Alliance united. In quiet moments, she confided in Elon, who remained her steadfast partner and visionary guide. Together, they pondered the responsibility that came with wielding such power, the necessity of wisdom, humility, and ethical stewardship. As Valkyrie continued its mission, they received a transmission from an unexpected source, an ancient race long thought extinct, now reaching out across the stars. Their message was both a warning and an invitation, a plea to join a cosmic coalition dedicated to preserving balance and preventing further destruction. This revelation expanded the stakes even further, hinting at a vast network of civilizations intertwined in the fate of the universe. Natalie and Elon prepared to respond, aware that the next chapter of their journey would test not only their technological prowess but their ability to forge peace and understanding on an unprecedented scale. As the stars shimmered beyond the observation deck, Natalie felt the weight of destiny settle upon her shoulders. The secrets unveiled were both a beacon and a burden, a call to embrace the unknown with courage and compassion. "We are no longer alone," she whispered. "And the universe is waiting for us to rise." The unexpected message from the ancient race, known as the Elysians, sent ripples throughout the Alliance. For centuries, the Elysians had been thought extinct, lost to the very cosmic forces that the Alliance now fought. Their re-emergence promised knowledge, strength, and, most importantly, new hope. Natalie Green, Elon Musk, and the leadership of the Alliance prepared for what might be their most important diplomatic mission yet. Forging ties with the Elysians and uniting disparate cosmic civilizations under a single banner to resist the Void's influence. The Elysians' message was more than a simple plea, it was a detailed proposal for a cosmic coalition, an unprecedented alliance aimed at preserving universal balance and sharing knowledge to prevent further cataclysmic events. As Valkyrie approached the coordinates provided by the Elysians, anticipation filled the ship. The Elysians' technology was rumored to be centuries ahead of anything the Alliance possessed, and their culture, steeped in wisdom and cosmic harmony, offered a potential blueprint for a new era. Upon arrival, Valkyrie was greeted by an awe-inspiring sight, a colossal space station, alive with shimmering energy and organic architecture that seemed to pulse with the rhythms of the universe itself. The Elysians welcomed the Alliance delegation with warmth and solemnity. Their leader, Elora, radiated a calm authority, embodying millennia of experience and a profound understanding of cosmic cycles. The initial discussions centered around shared history, how the Void had nearly consumed their civilizations, and how they had narrowly escaped annihilation by adapting and uniting. Elora spoke of the importance of balance and the dangers of unchecked expansion and technological hubris. The Alliance leaders listened intently, absorbing lessons that resonated deeply with their own struggles. Elon Musk was particularly captivated by the Elysians' mastery of space-time manipulation and energy harmonization. They revealed advanced methods of using cosmic energies not to dominate, but to nurture and sustain. The Elysians proposed sharing these techniques with the Alliance, but only under strict ethical guidelines and mutual respect. As negotiations progressed, underlying tensions emerged. Some Alliance members feared becoming subservient to the Elysians, while others worried the coalition might restrict their autonomy. Natalie skillfully navigated these concerns, emphasizing collaboration over control, unity over division. Meanwhile, an unsettling discovery threatened the fragile peace. Intelligence reports revealed that factions loyal to the Void were infiltrating the coalition's ranks, seeking to sabotage efforts and reignite cosmic chaos. This revelation forced a re-evaluation of security protocols and deepened the Alliance's resolve to root out betrayal. Natalie's leadership was put to the test as she balanced diplomacy with vigilance, trust with caution. In private moments, she confided in Elon about the immense pressures she faced, and together they envisioned a future where fear would no longer dictate their actions. The Elysians introduced a ceremonial rite, inviting Alliance members to participate in a ritual symbolizing unity with the cosmic forces. An experience that bonded the participants on a spiritual level and strengthened their commitment. The ritual illuminated a shared truth, that survival depended not just on technology or force, but on understanding, respect, and harmony with the universe. As the cosmic coalition formally took shape, Valkyrie became a symbol of hope and resilience, bridging cultures and technologies across galaxies. The Alliance's journey, once defined by conflict and uncertainty, now charted a course toward cooperation and enlightenment. Standing on the Elysians' observation platform, gazing at the stars intertwined with streams of cosmic energy, Natalie felt a profound sense of purpose. The universe was vast and mysterious, but united, its inhabitants could face any darkness. "This is the dawn of a new era," she said, her voice steady. "Together, we will protect the light that binds us all." The formation of the Cosmic Coalition brought a sense of cautious optimism, but beneath the surface, Natalie Green and Elon Musk knew that the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The void, though momentarily restrained, remained a looming threat. As Valkyrie and the Allied fleets prepared for the next phase, an unexpected discovery at the edge of known space turned the entire mission on its head. Scientists analyzing deep space scans uncovered a structure unlike any other. An enormous, ancient artifact drifting just beyond the reach of the Coalition's territories. It was colossal, dwarfing even the largest starships, and constructed from materials that shimmered with an iridescence that defied known physics. The artifact pulsed with a faint energy signature that seemed to resonate with the space-time fabric itself. Intrigued and cautious, Natalie authorized a detailed reconnaissance mission. As Valkyrie approached the artifact, the crew marveled at its complexity. Its surfaces were etched with cryptic symbols and intricate designs that suggested a language or code far beyond anything they had encountered. Elon Musk spearheaded efforts to interface with the artifact systems, utilizing the advanced technologies shared by the Elysians alongside their own innovations. After days of tireless work, a breakthrough occurred. The artifact responded, initiating a holographic projection that engulfed the ship's bridge in a cascade of light and sound. The projection revealed the story of the artifact's creators, an ancient race known as the Architects, whose existence predated even the Elysians. The Architects were cosmic engineers, responsible for shaping galaxies, stabilizing cosmic forces, and nurturing the delicate balance of the universe. They had created the artifact as a failsafe, a cosmic library and control hub designed to monitor and, if necessary, recalibrate the universe's fundamental energies. The revelation was staggering. The void, it seemed, was not merely a force of chaos but a symptom of an imbalance in the cosmic order, one that the Architects had anticipated and prepared for. The artifact held the keys to restoring equilibrium, but only if the Alliance could decipher and master its functions. As the crew studied the artifact's interface, they uncovered warnings about the dangers of misuse. Any attempt to control cosmic energies without harmony could lead to catastrophic consequences. This knowledge rekindled debates among the Alliance's leaders, challenging their understanding of power and responsibility. Elon Musk, ever the visionary, proposed a cautious approach, combining the artifact's capabilities with the Elysians' ethical frameworks to ensure safe use. Meanwhile, Natalie reached out to the Cosmic Coalition, urging unity and vigilance. The artifact also revealed a startling connection to the void's origins. The cosmic imbalance that birthed the darkness was tied to an ancient event, a cosmic catastrophe that fractured spacetime and unleashed destructive forces. This understanding offered hope. If the balance could be restored, the void might be reversed or transformed. However, the artifact's activation attracted unwanted attention. Dark tendrils of energy, remnants of the void's influence, converged on Valkyrie's location, initiating a new wave of assaults. The crew braced for battle, combining new technologies with seasoned tactics. The fights were fierce, but the Alliance's strengthened resolve and advanced weaponry held the line. Through it all, Natalie maintained her focus, recognizing that the battles were a test of not just strength, but unity and faith. As the artifact's secrets continued to unfold, the Alliance prepared for a daring mission to harness its power and bring about cosmic restoration. It was a venture fraught with peril, but also bursting with promise, a final step toward ending the darkness and ushering in a new age. Standing once again on Valkyrie's observation deck, Natalie gazed into the endless cosmos with a mixture of awe and determination. The ultimate revelation had changed everything, challenging beliefs, forging alliances, and igniting a spark of hope that could illuminate even the deepest void. "The universe has entrusted us with a sacred duty," she whispered. "It's time to rise to the challenge and become the architects of our own destiny." The final chapter of the journey unfolded with a breathtaking intensity that few could have anticipated. Armed with the wisdom of the Architect's artifact and the strength of the Cosmic Coalition, Natalie Green, Elon Musk, and the Alliance's bravest souls prepared for a mission that would determine the fate of the universe. The stakes had never been higher. Valkyrie became a beacon of hope, leading a fleet composed of ships from countless civilizations, each crew bound by a shared resolve to restore balance to a cosmos on the brink of collapse. The artifact's interface revealed a complex sequence, a cosmic key that could recalibrate the energy imbalances fueling the void. Yet the process demanded precision, synchronization, and sacrifice. The Coalition's engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, guided by the Elysian's ethical codes and the Architect's warnings, knowing that one wrong move could spell doom. The journey to the heart of the void was fraught with peril. The darkness fought back fiercely, unleashing waves of chaotic energy and warped creatures born of spacetime fractures. Battles erupted across the void like storms, testing the Alliance's unity and resolve. Amid the chaos, Natalie's leadership shone brightest, her courage inspiring every soul aboard Valkyrie and across the fleet. Elon Musk's innovations proved pivotal, enabling the Coalition to navigate the shifting terrain of the void and maintain cohesion. At the center of the maelstrom, the artifact's cosmic key began to resonate, emitting a radiant pulse that illuminated the darkness with swirling colors of cosmic energy. The Coalition's fleet formed a protective ring, shielding the device as it activated the recalibration sequence. Time seemed to slow as the universe itself held its breath. The artifact's energy waves rippled outward, weaving through galaxies, mending fractures in spacetime, and soothing the chaotic forces that had birthed the void. Slowly, the darkness receded, replaced by a luminous expanse of stars and cosmic light. The victory was not without cost. Many brave souls had fallen, and scars, both physical and emotional, would linger. Yet the Alliance had achieved what once seemed impossible, restoring harmony to a universe teetering on the edge of destruction. In the aftermath, Natalie stood on Valkyrie's observation deck, gazing at a cosmos transformed. The stars sparkled with renewed brilliance, and distant worlds whispered promises of rebirth. Elon joined her, his gaze steady and full of quiet triumph. They spoke little, knowing that words could never fully capture the magnitude of what had transpired. But within their silence was a shared understanding, that their journey was more than a battle against darkness, it was a testament to the power of unity, hope, and the enduring human spirit. Messages poured in from across the galaxies, thanks, congratulations, and renewed pledges of cooperation. The Cosmic Coalition solidified, evolving into a true federation dedicated to exploration, knowledge, and peace. Natalie's reflections deepened. The path had been long and arduous, filled with loss and revelation. Yet through it all, she had grown, not just as a leader but as a woman who had learned the meaning of sacrifice, love, and purpose. Life is full of surprises, she thought, but love will always lead the way. In the quiet moments that followed, Natalie recorded a message for future generations, a beacon to guide those who would one day follow. We faced the greatest darkness and emerged stronger, not because of power or technology, but because we dared to believe in each other. The universe is vast and mysterious, but together, we can illuminate even the deepest shadows. Remember this, our greatest strength lies not in what we build or discover, but in the love and courage that bind us. Let that be your guide. As Valkyrie charted a course toward new horizons, the stars seemed to sing, a cosmic symphony celebrating a future forged by unity, hope, and the unbreakable human spirit. The story of NASA's biggest secret above the solar system had transformed from a tale of mystery and danger into a legend of courage, discovery, and the eternal quest for light among the stars. And though the journey had reached its end, the adventure of humanity and its allies was only just beginning. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough?